Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. I'm excited that we are headed to just around 24 hours until the first game of the season. Of course, I'll be live tomorrow right here on the channel, 1 o'clock. But I wanted to talk today about some news that came in from Dan Duggan. Shout out to him, Giants beat reporter. And it says a compromise resolution has been made uh, to the cornerback 2 situation. So Cordell is expected to start on Sunday, along with Deonte Banks coming in on third downs, according to a source. Now, I'm not sure how to feel about that. Now, I do think that Cordell Flott has outplayed Deonte Banks, but at the same time, I'm sort of thinking like he's outplayed Deonte Banks. So why is he coming in on third down? Why is Deonte Banks checking in on third down? Do we not know who we're playing against? The Washington Commanders last year on third down were unreal. They were unreal. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they were unreal on third and fourth down last year. So we want to bring in a guy that we feel less confident in on third down. I hope we don't do that. I really hope we don't do that. Now, maybe their plan is on third down, we'll be playing man, and Deonte Banks is the better man corner. I don't think that Deonte Banks is the better man corner. I think he's a better zone corner than Cordell Flott is, because Cordell Flott is not good in zone. Maybe you can get away with a cover 3 with him, which we run a lot of. But as far as just general zone coverage, Cordell Flott's not necessarily a good zone corner. I much rather would have Deonte Banks in a zone situation than Cordell Flott. And Cordell Flott, to me, in man coverage, is surprisingly a guy that you can put in man coverage, even though he's kind of slight, and he kind of holds up even against those bigger receivers like AJ Brown. So I am sort of confused right here. Why would we say that Cordell Flott is going to get the start and Deonte Banks has a package on third downs that he'll come in for? So I hope that, again, it's not going to be like every third down, Cordell Flott checking out, Deonte Banks checking in. Hopefully it's just a rotation, because a rotation I'm fine with. I think these two players are very close. I think Deonte Banks has a little bit more talent, but does not have much talent at playing the ball. I think Cordell Flott is a guy that's very sticky in man coverage and can also play the ball. He can also be sitting back in a cover 2, and someone could be running a slant, and he can, be aware and jump down and undercut a cover, undercut a slant on a cover 2. So I think they both have their strengths, but I think at the end of the day, they're not that different as far as, level of play. They're not that different there. But to say that you trust Cordell Flott more and then you're going to put Deonte Banks in on third down doesn't really make sense to me. So hopefully that is, sort of just like an overgeneralization of what their plan is. Hopefully it's just a rotation. Now, I wanted to think a little bit about the Commanders wide receiver core, because I didn't touch on them as much as I wanted to, before in my week 1 preview. I didn't talk about them as much as I wanted to. Now, Terry last year did not do that well against us. He didn't really do that well against us. He had 41 yards in 2 games, 8 catches, but he did have 2 touchdowns. The 2 touchdowns that he had were crucial touchdowns. These games were pretty low scoring, the low 20s. I'm pretty sure the Commanders scored to win both of these games. So those 2 touchdowns were crucial. What we should take away from this is that Terry McLaurin can have a 19-yard game and a 21-yard game or a 22-yard game and still affect the game. So we can afford to give up empty calories. We can afford for him to, get more catches and more yards. But we have got to absolutely make the big plays when they matter. Whether that's getting a sack when Terry McLaurin would have scored a touchdown on third down, whether that's getting an interception, whether it's breaking the ball, we have got to stop Terry McLaurin from affecting this game in the crucial moments of the game, because that is how games are won and lost. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders made every single play they needed to make. All they needed to do was be in close games with teams, and on every fourth down, and they decided to go for it almost, they made it. They talk about the tush push, where the Commanders just have Jaden Daniels. Just the fact that they have Jaden Daniels, teams were unable to stop him. Out of 23 fourth downs they went for last year, they got 20 of them. So that shows you just how dominant they were on fourth down. So again, we have got to lock in on these receivers, especially Terry McLaurin, in these crucial situations, which are the third downs, the fourth downs, into games, into halves. That's when we need to lock in on Terry McLaurin. We cannot expect this guy to get 19 yards and 22 yards against us again. We just can't expect that. But what we can do again is lock in those crucial situations. Notice how CD Lamb went for a buck 10 on I think 7 catches, but didn't get in the end zone and had 2 crucial drops. Now, those drops might have won the Cowboys the game if he didn't drop it, but at the end of the day, when that receiver isn't able to make those big plays in those crucial situations, they can have a huge game and it doesn't make a difference on the win or loss column. So that has to be our attitude with Terry. I mean, we have got to not let this guy beat us. So whether that looks like, maybe you're manning him up, or maybe, you got one guy on him, you're running a regular defense, which I wouldn't advise. I'm sure they have some type of plan, but you're running, mostly regular defense, how you would play them, and then you really lock in on those third downs. But let's move on. I want to talk about Deebo Samuel. Deebo is not a guy I'm worried about. As far as running routes, getting downfield, the short game, I'm not worried about Deebo Samuel. I'm just not in that way. But what I am worried about with Deebo Samuel is go back to Cliff Kingsbury. Look at him when he was in Arizona. I was gonna say in the Cardinals. Look back when he was in Arizona and we played against Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray as a rookie beat us by just throwing screens, throwing short passes, and that's exactly how Jaden Daniels beat us last year. Short passes to these receivers, short screens, over and over and over and over again, and good screen quarterbacks, as we've seen in the preseason with JD6. As we've seen with Jackson Dart and other quarterbacks in the preseason, if you can run the screen game well, that's actually a skill. There's a difference how quarterbacks run the screen game. So Jaden Daniels is great at it, and he gets the ball out so quickly, and that could just absolutely destroy our rush, which is the strength of the team. He can get rid of the ball very quickly in the screen game. He can also get rid of it, in sort of like the shuttle screen game, or even some stop routes from Deebo Samuel where he can get a little space. I'm not concerned about this guy, busting out of the window and getting downfield on us, or hitting us with a double move, or even a post. I'm not concerned about those things, but I am concerned about Deebo catching the screen, pausing to Deebo, trying to tackle him. He spins out of that. He breaks another tackle. He's gone. I am concerned about that because Deebo the past couple of years has been looking kind of banged up. He has not been explosive, and it looks like he's lost some weight, and it looks like he's healthy. So I am concerned about him in the short area, catching some of these passes and just jumping out of the window. I'm just really concerned about that. And that could really be hurt. That could hurt us. Because if he's doing that and Terry is making plays down the field, and, Jaden Daniels is always going to get somebody else involved, Zach Ertz, Noah Brown, I'm not sure if he's playing, but he'll get somebody else involved. If all of that is happening, this offense, whether we can rush the pass, whether we have Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White beside him, Aaron Donald beside him, Dexter Lawrence in between the two of them, and then Von Miller on the other side, prime Von Miller, because the real Von Miller's on the command. Whether we have all of those players on the defensive line rushing the passer on third down or not, if Jaden Daniels is getting rid of the ball as soon as he gets to the bottom of his drop, there's not much you can do. So we got to lock in on a quick game. We got to lock in on third downs on Terry, and we got to tackle. Tackling is going to be huge this game because they know this pass rush is coming. They got Laremy Tunsil. They got Connerly. They're not stupid, though. They're not going to come out there and say, oh, because Josh Connerly blocked Abdul Carter in a college game, we're just going to just let everything we're just going to just relax and just allow our rookie tackle in his first game to just go one-on-one against all these edge rushers. They're not going to do that. Laremy Tunsil, he's going to be one-on-one. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's not going to give up much of anything. But the rest of those guys will get help, and they will pay attention to this defensive line, and they will get rid of the ball very quickly. So they're going to do that. We got to tackle. And Deontay Banks or Cordell Flott, they're going to have to tackle because a good amount of time they're going to be messed up on Deebo Samuel, and you're concerned about Banks' effort in the pass, and you're concerned about Cordell Flott's size. And both of those two things together creates very big problems as far as an open field tackling game when you got a guy like Deebo Samuel. So that's my 2 cents on that. Hopefully, this bringing in Deontay Banks on third down thing is an oversimplification of what they're going to do. And with Cordell Flott, man, wishing you the best. If you're getting your first start over Deontay Banks where there's no real injuries, wishing you the best because I think he's a good man coverage corner. And I think he'll be able to hold up pretty well against a lot of these receivers, especially on the Commanders, because, again, Terry is really the only guy that you see just routing somebody up. So, again, pop on the channel, 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be live. Excited for us to be back. I do think, even after I said everything there, I think this is a game that we have a shot at winning. Huge game, huge chance to set the tone. Let's go. First game, why not be optimistic, folks? Why not have hope before the first game?